Hey everybody, I'm Steve.
I'm Nina.
We're a couple that loves food,
Travel.
and adventures of all kinds. Today, we want to talk to you about Mexico.
Yeah, as you all know, we've traveled to Mexico in April 2021.
You can find more about it in that playlist up there. So, we're going to tell you about 5 things we wish we knew before we'd gone. So if you're traveling and you want to hear about some advice that may be helpful to you, you should come with us.
Tip number 1, book in advance.
So this might seem like a silly tip, but for us it was kind of a lesson we learned the hard way. When we plan for a vacation, we really get into the whole thing. There's like spreadsheets involved. We bookmark all the Airbnbs we like. We bookmark all the activities. And then, we went to actually finalize everything, and we found out that a lot of them were
Taking.
taken.
Yeah, Cancun is a very popular area, as you all know.
Yeah, so the way we're thinking about it now, if we could do it all over again, April 2021, that timing might have been perfect if we booked everything 1 month ahead of time. Of course, maybe if it's super busy, you might even need more time than that. But the basic idea is, as soon as you know you're going to be in one of the towns on a certain date, go ahead and set things up. Don't hesitate. Jump right in both feet. You'll be glad you did. Tip number 2, get a mobile plan with international data.
We use T-Mobile, and since we love to travel, so our plan already includes international data and calls in Mexico and Canada.
It's also nice just to have the data on your phone besides all the usual phone internet addiction that you need to maintain as you're traveling, but you have access to Airbnb, so you can talk to hosts in real time very easily, and things can get smoothed out very quickly if there's any issues. Number 2, you can use WhatsApp to make new friends and to communicate with them easily in their area. And number 3, depending on where you are in Mexico and how things are set up, the internet and the Wi-Fi range from either being, pretty much indistinguishable from your internet home in America to, very not great at all. So yeah, on this trip, I was still working remotely about 3 days a week, and in one location, we were staying at an Airbnb where they had basically built the house themselves, which is cool, but it was just not in a way that made any sense for having the signal get to the room. And so if I was trying to work from my room, there was like less than 1 megabit per second of upload-download speed. It was really not working, so I had to use my phone as a mobile hotspot. So it's good to have.
Tip number 3, before you leave to Mexico, remember to exchange some dollars for pesos.
Yeah, there are many different ways that you can pay for things in Mexico.
In the touristy area, you can use US dollars and credit cards, but if you travel further away from these areas, it's better to have some pesos.
Yeah, and if you try to exchange US dollars for pesos in random parts of Mexico, you'd be surprised to find out that the exchange rate can vary by quite a lot.
Yep.
Some places it could be, $20 pesos for $1. Some places it's 14. But you're basically gonna walk into some area and have no idea of what the exchange rate is, so it's best to be prepared. We recommend probably thinking about what your cash budget will be when you go travel, and take about half of that in pesos before you get on the plane. Tip number 4, okay, either rent a car or book accommodations that are close to a city center.
When we traveled in the Yucatan area, we relied on the public transportation. Unfortunately, in Playa de Carmen and Valladolid, we stayed on the edge of the town.
And what this meant was that sometimes it was really hard to find a bus or taxi in our area. And so we had to basically walk towards the town center while we were trying to hail a cab, and that didn't go so great.
One time, we had to walk 30 minutes on foot to the town center, and it was so hot.
Yeah, and we didn't see a cab the whole time.
Yeah,
so we didn't have a choice. We were just basically marching under the sun. Yeah, so if you're traveling for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, chances are good that by the halfway point you'll be pretty tired, just because you're sleeping in strange places and you're living life and you're in a new climate, all that stuff. So, do yourself a favor, either book a rental car so you can travel where you want to go when you want to go there, or be close to the center of town because, it'll be much nicer if you do.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Tip number 5, you should plan ahead for your water needs.
Yeah, in Mexico, you need to buy your own drinking water because the tap water there is really not safe to drink or for cooking.
and for a couple other things, but
Yeah.
you gotta be careful with that. Yeah, having your daily water supply figured out is an essential basic for any would-be Yucatan explorer, and it's important to make sure that you plan ahead so you aren't improvising or making weird choices.
Having an Airbnb which provides water is a big help. So remember to ask your host if they provide water.
And like with our last tip, if you have a car or if you're close to a city center, it's very easy to resupply when you need to. And you need to think less about that, but you should still be planning ahead at least a little bit because you don't want to end up somewhere in a pinch. I remember one afternoon in Valladolid, we realized that we needed some water to start cooking dinner, and we didn't have enough. And so we basically walked for 15 minutes out in the heat looking for a convenience store that was open because the one that was near us was closed. And we ended up carrying this big jug of water back to our Airbnb in 100-degree heat and maximum humidity. It was miserable.
Not fun.
And so we could have planned that one a little better, I think. And you
Don't
should
be
too.
like us.
I mean, you can be like us a little bit, but not that way. Well, folks, that's all we have time for today. Stay tuned next week for 5 more tips to finish out our grand 10-tip total of all the things you should know before you go to Mexico to experience the Riviera Maya.
Like and subscribe.
Lest we forget. Yeah, like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.